Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be about the Cabela's brand of emergency food. This is a Cabela's 60 serving emergency food bucket that I got from ding 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 Cabela's. So this 60 serving, that's all it says on the front. It just says 60 serving. So it doesn't really give you any idea or indication of, how long this lasts. On the Augustin Farms brand bucket that I've done a video on, the 48-hour bucket has 60 servings. I'm sorry, 55 servings. The Augustin 48-hour bucket has 55 servings. So, with this being 60 servings, it's pretty much on par. So you can consider this bucket to be a 2-day bucket. The seal, just like the other Augustin Farm buckets, was pretty easy to take off, and that's almost disturbing in a way. And I want to touch on that just a little bit. So, as I noted in another video, this is the tear off tab, and you can see that line right in here where you would just click and just tear this along. So like opening up a can and rip it all the way around, and that would allow you to take this quote-unquote tamper-proof lid off the bucket. It's easy to get off. All you need is a butter knife. So once you pop it off, I can then just hit this really hard and pop it back into place. And for people who don't know any better, they'd be none the wiser and think that this was an unsealed box. So I think that's something that you should think about and consider. When you find these buckets secondhand, you could have a very dishonest person who knows how to take these off without tearing the seal and take stuff out and then put junk back in. Make you think that you're getting actual food. If you're going to buy these, I would highly recommend buying strictly from the manufacturer or a dealer or distributor. I wouldn't buy these secondhand from anybody, just for the simple fact that it's too easy to get these quote-unquote tamper-proof seals off and put them back on without anybody really knowing. So this right here would be the only visual indication that it's been tampered with. That's where I took the butter knife, put it up in there, and pried it up. That's the only sign that you can tell that this lid's been tampered with in any way. But anyway, enough of that. So, inside the bucket itself, what do we have? Hearty potato soup. And I'm filling the outside of the bag because on the Augustin buckets, I noticed there was like this film of dust or dirt or something on the outside of the pouch. And although you cannot probably see it very easily on video, there is something on the outside of this bag. Not as much as that one Augustin bag that I came across, but it's noticeable to me. Right off the bat, one thing I notice is these pouches appear to have a zipper on the inside, so you can seal the bags back up. That is a +1 for the Cabela's brand. Western chili. I've had Western chili or Southern chili or whatever in these freeze-dried minis before. It's a good meal to have. Certainly better than some potato soup in my opinion. So that's a +1 for the Cabela's. Creamy cinnamon rice pudding. And again, I'm feeling the outside of the pouch, and I can detect that there's some type of particulate matter on the outside. It's like dust or something, and it's probably reflecting too much in the video. Probably won't be able to see it. But right in here, tip of my finger, there's something there. I can wipe it away. Don't know for sure what is on the outside of the pouches. I can feel it, and it's kind of like dust. And on my fingers from the Augustin bucket, like it left a noticeable film of dust or whatever in my hands. This one's not so much. It's very light, but I can still feel it. I'm thinking it's just dust. But here we have beef flavored vegetable stew, savory black beans and rice, and honey oat granola. Alright, and inside the bucket, there's something right down in there in this corner. Something, I don't know what that is. I'll take a better look at it. Maybe just some kind of, I don't know, some type of particulate matter. What it is, I'm not really sure. Inside the bucket, again, I can still feel this dust feeling kind of stuff on the inside. So it's not something that is unique to just the Augustin Farm buckets. It also appears to be inside the Cabela bucket as well. And like I noted in my Augustin Farms bucket review, personally, see, you can kind of see this. It's left a film on my fingers. And I think it's just dust is what it is. I think wherever they assemble these things, they're in this big warehouse / factory type of setting, and they probably have like a whole pallet of these things, you know, sitting on a line, and people, as this bucket is going down the conveyor belt or whatever, people are just dumping things in there or whatever their process is. I think this stuff is just sitting out in a big warehouse factory type setting, and if you've ever been in a factory or a warehouse type setting, there's a bunch of dust that accumulates inside, and I'm guessing this is the stuff that I'm feeling on the inside is just dust. All the stuff that came inside this bucket fits with a lot of room to spare. So these buckets could actually hold a lot more, in my opinion. So if you wanted to maximize your space, now this is speaking obviously just from the Cabela brand here, you know, if you bought multiple of the Cabela buckets, you could then, look how much space is left in there. It only fills up half the bucket. If you wanted, you know, you could buy multiple of these buckets, open them up, and you could take out the things that, you know, you really don't like at all, and stuff a bucket full of all the good stuff, like all the chili mac and all the oatmeal stuff, and then leave your soup stuff off to the side, and then you can have like a quote-unquote a super bucket of food. But that's for sure just right now with this Cabela's 60 serving emergency food bucket. Other brands, you know, they may have stuff packed up closer to the top, and it'd be harder to do that. But I can tell you right now that based off how much what comes in this bucket only fills half of it, you could for sure buy multiple of these buckets and kind of mix and match a little bit and have one bucket with all the good stuff in it off to the side. The bucket, just like any other bucket, is pretty sturdy. And again, all this does is keep out the rodents. On the front, just tells you 60 serving, and it gives you the meal options on the inside right here in the front. And then it just repeats what's on the inside, gives you the nutritional values. And that's it. And I haven't read in full detail, you know, sitting here like I was sitting in breakfast table reading the back of a cereal box or nothing, but I haven't seen anything so far that indicates how much water is required to reconstitute all the food inside this bucket. So that's what I'm going to do next. Is I'm just going to go through, read directions, and write down how much water is required for each pouch, add all that up, and then I'm going to take a magic marker and write on the inside and the side how much water is required for this particular bucket. And on the Augustin 30-day bucket that I did, it comes out to like 9 gallons of water just to reconstitute 30 days worth of freeze-dried food. So that's one of the downsides to freeze-dried food, is the amount of water that you need to reconstitute it. So not only, you know, if you're going to have a bunch of these stored up in your garage, your crawl space, wherever you may store this stuff at, if you're going to have a bunch of this stuff lined up on the wall, you're going to also need a bunch of water stored up along the wall with it. And that water is just for reconstituting this food. That does not include your drinking water, your sanitation water, etc. Water is going to be a very logistic heavy item for you to be storing. So that's something you need to be thinking about when you are considering freeze-dried food. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.